welcome back, everyone. You survived my very brief solo experience. It was a very unique recording in a hotel room. A little bit echoey, but I think I did it. I think I did okay for podcasting on the go. And as promised, on this week with Games with John and James, as you know, I'm James. I have a special guest, and let me introduce Tony.
Hello, I am special.
He's very special. He's so special that we kind of have similar interests for some games. We've recommended them back and forth for each other. I personally have to go try a PC game, and as you all know, haven't really done PC in ages. So if I'm gone for like 100 hours, sorry, it was fun. It's been nice knowing you.
There's nothing wrong with PC games.
So this week, I wanted to do something special with Tony being our guest on the show. And as you all know, Chrono Trigger was always near and dear to my heart, and I still tout it as the best RPG of all time.
It's a fantastic game.
But it has a close second for me, and I think it's a first for you, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know if it's a first for me, but it is certainly my favorite of this particular series.
So, and we're actually going to change it. We're going to dive right in. So there's no real gaming news. There's no anything like that. So we're just going to head right into the topic, and that is why Final Fantasy VI is a game you must play, and why it's arguably one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. And I'm going to let Tony take this because I'm over here happy smiling with JRPG love. Thanks, John. Come back later.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy VI, or Final Fantasy III, depending on how you played it. For me, it's the best Final Fantasy game because it's the only Final Fantasy game that I know of where like you utterly fail. Like you're set out to save the world and you fail. The world is destroyed. Like millions of people die. Cities are buried beneath the sea. Ancient cities are, raised up from underground. The whole world has changed, and that's the halfway point.
It's remarkable what they did, because when we think about it, because it came out on the Super Nintendo.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of storage space or memory on any of those cartridges. And
I remember when Metroid 3 came out boasting a whole 24 megabytes of RAM.
I remember that commercial. Oh man! So we were living in Europe, and when they were advertising games, they kind of made them really crazy over there. And I remember, so it was Metroid 3, and then it was a Contra game, and I think it was. You remember when like the Super Nintendo was trying to make all these little animal mascots to compete with Sonic? So you had like Bubsy, you had Arrow the Acrobat, and all that.
Remember those guys?
And it was an Arrow the Acrobat.
Chester Cheetah for some weird reason.
Yeah, that one was weird. Could have been good, but
yeah.
Now he's just a Cheeto.
He's always a Cheeto. He tried to be more than a Cheeto, but the world put him back in his bag.
Hey, he's branching out. Martha actually sent a photo while I was away for work. They have flaming hot Cheetos Mountain Dew now.
Every day, we stray further and further from the light of God.
Should I buy some for work?
Give it a try. Honestly, give it a try. It might be good. It might be terrible.
Will you try it?
Yeah, I'll give it a try. When I go through Taco Bell and I see they have like some new weird box deal, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a try. What the heck? Like the worst case scenario, I'm going to spend an extra hour on the toilet trying not to blow my lower intestine out.
You tasted great. Oh, well, you're not feeling great, but hey, You tasted great. It's a 50-50.
Yeah, and every now and then you need to just clean out your system. So,
And hey, what better way to clean out your system than with Final Fantasy VI? Like, get rid of all that.
Sure. So again, Final Fantasy VI, I don't know, that doesn't clean my system. That really like invigorates me for the storytelling and the characters and how you could lose like a main character if you didn't do something random right before the world ends.
How far do we want to give any spoilers, or because I mean the game is almost 30 years old now.
I think 20 years is the statute of limitations when it comes to spoilers. So yeah, if you don't do the right thing at the right time, you lose Shadow, who's like the mysterious cool character.
That damn dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I forget the dog's name. Why am I forgetting the dog's name? It's not Vector. That's not it. It's something.
I don't remember the dog's name, but I always remember when I first got him, I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool because you get him right near the ghost train, and he even tells you up front, he's like, hey, I might not be around that long.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay. And when the dog does that AoE attack and it hits all the enemies for thousands, and you're not even level 15,
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
dog is pretty awesome.
it's like, what? Okay, I love this character. And I messed up because I kept him around too long. So whenever I play like a Final Fantasy, I get lost in the grind. I love the combat system. I love the old turn-based combat system, and I got lost in the grind. And I'm not even through the ghost train. And he's like, "All right, bye." And I'm like, "Wait, what? No."
Huh. So speaking of the ghost train, the super awesome glitch of being able to suplex the train itself. Like when they like fixed that and pulled it out of, I think it was the PlayStation remake.
Yep.
And then like everyone like hated it, and so they put it back in. Good choice putting it back in. It's one of the best glitches you could ever have in a game.
The fact that you can suplex a train, it's just primo.
You know, you jump out there, Sabin or Sabin, however you say it, jumps out, grabs a train, suplexes it, and keeps going like ain't nothing happening.
It's like, I made you my bitch today. Boom. I think that game, so that game for me, so like, it was kind of hand in hand with Chrono Trigger because I did pick both of them up right around the same time. And Chrono Trigger for me is a perfect video game, but Final Fantasy VI is a perfect storytelling video game because, again, we're talking about Super Nintendo media. It's 8 main characters, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Something like that. But then a bunch more optional characters.
And each of them has fully fleshed out stories. Like Terra, the obvious main character, like her story is super amazing. Like when she loses it and goes Esper mode.
Just crazy. Yeah,
and you're just flying around the map. It's like, oh God, what's going on?
Yeah.
To Sabin, to Edgar.
The twins, their story. It's a good story, and how Edgar like loves his brother so much that he sacrifices his personal freedom so his brother can go off and do his own thing.
It's beyond amazing. Or Sid with the airship, like in the opera scene. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's such a rich and powerful game. And I'm surprised. I honestly, like, we're on episode 25, and I haven't actually spoke volumes of Final Fantasy 6 or 3, depending on where you played it. I fail. Like, I fail as a JRPG guy. My card's revoked at least for another 30 minutes.
Okay.
I'm revoking my own card.
I also, and this might be controversial to some, but I also like Ultros.
Oh.
Ultros, I thought Ultros had actually a pretty decent story arc too. Like he's a more or less a throwaway villain character, but shows up just wanting to conquer and be tough. You kick his butt. He comes back later with a helper. It's like, oh, this guy's going to help me kick your ass. And he loses again. And then you eventually meet him again, and he's like just like a ticket seller at the Coliseum. He's like, yeah, you know what? I can't beat people in fights, but I can sell tickets. So like, hey, you want to come in and fight people? It's cool. He goes from being an antagonist to kind of being friends with the party, all through you just like
beating him down,
kicking his ass, but not like fatally kicking his ass. You know,
he always found a way to get away. It reminds me of Final Fantasy V. Remember Gilgamesh, like the recurring fights you would do with him. And I think that, like, I feel like that was the precursor because obviously 5 didn't come out for us until the PlayStation. It's already out in Japan, obviously prequel, like it's before 6. Thanks, math. But Gilgamesh, like that was really cool and recurring up until he dies with X-Death killing him. But he didn't really, like you could see the growth, and at the very end he's like, wait, this is wrong, and then he just dies. And I feel like they liked that. And with Ultros, they didn't kill him. They gave him that kind of happy ending. And I appreciated that because you don't really get that with villains too much. And I mean, speaking of villains, we haven't even touched base on Kefka.
One of the greatest villains of all time. It's cartoonishly evil, but cartoonishly evil in a way that fits the overall Final Fantasy story and aesthetic.
The fact that you got the vibe this man was willing to do everything right when he poisoned the river.
Yeah.
That was insane. I mean, normally game, like, especially back in the day, like when the mature rating or mature themes it was kind of the Wild West up until what happened with Congress and Mortal Kombat and Night Trap and all that nonsense.
Let's not even get started on Congress and its nonsense and trying to censor entertainment because somehow politicians don't know what entertainment is.
Playing video games makes you violent.
Because no war happened before Pong was invented.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Yeah, they're fired. They're just straight fired. That was dumb. But I mean, he was so trying to find words for it because
Kefka poisoning Doma Castle, and then your character Cyan, like standing on the battlements, looking out, watching the invading army kind of pulling back, thinking, "Hey, maybe we won," but then turning around and seeing everyone starting to drop dead.
It was nuts because even so, like when he witnessed that, he goes in, he's like, "My king," and then he's talking about his wife and his kids, like,
and then gets there just in time to see them die.
That's an oof.
Yeah,
and honestly, if you look at the bigs, because like Final Fantasy VII, that's the go-to for most people who enjoy Final Fantasy. I feel like everybody, if you were a gamer back then, everybody's played Final Fantasy 7, 8, or 9, one of them. And you didn't even really touch on anything like that until 9 again with like Zidane's story and like Kuja and Osmo and all them. Like we didn't really get that kind of touch of depth back into it until 9. And we're talking, because Final Fantasy 6 came out in Japan in like, it was like 94? Something like that? 94 or 5?
That sounds about right.
And
I was in high school when it came out, and that's when I was in high school.
Showing your age. You're a veteran gamer.
I survived the Nintendo Sega console wars. I was there.
Did you like that video, by the way, with Sega versus Nintendo?
Yes. That was an entertaining video. The video of the animated version of the console wars and watching them progress as each new console came out. It was pretty entertaining.
And then Crash Bandicoot just comes out and Sega kills itself. Oh, man. I mean, we could heap tons and tons of praises on Final Fantasy VI. So the good news is, for all of you who prefer gaming on your phone or PC, Square actually did a Final Fantasy Pixel remaster. You do still have to buy each game individually, but you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your phone, and there is rumored talks that it is going to come either to just the Switch only, or possibly like PlayStation, the PlayStation 5 and 4. And you can actually go and play that today. The remaster, the only negative I can say about it is, that text that you look at against like video game, like the gray walls back in the day, and it's just off-putting.
Yes.
It's like too smooth for what it was. It's that. That's the only bad thing.
I read, and I don't know how true this is because reasons, but I read that they put voice acting into the Pixel remake.
I can't confirm or deny. So when that was coming out, some fan created an end game for Final Fantasy VI. It is. I am actually going to my Googles because this end game. It's somebody like dedicated like development hours and hours, and it's all post game story continuation. It is ridiculous, and I apologize because I'm rambling.
At what point did Nintendo come in and shut them down?
They have not yet, actually.
Because Nintendo is pretty serious about shutting down fan projects involving their characters.
It is.
I know there was that Metroid 2 in the color port that the Nintendo came through and stepped on and crushed like a month or so before it was about to be released to the public. Because how dare a fan share our property with someone else?
Nintendo's the worst. Who was it who had all the music IPs? Like somebody literally, for all of us, did all the major like theme songs from games, took no money from it whatsoever, like heaped praises on Nintendo every game. It was like a 80-hour playlist on YouTube, and Nintendo just kind of kiboshed it. They're like, thanks.
It's right up there with the Super Mario Brothers porn that Nintendo purchased and then keeps hidden in their vaults where no one can watch it.
Yep. Oh, it's called the Final Fantasy VI Brave New World through romhacking.net. Now, I don't condone hacking, blah, 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 but ROM hacks are fine. If you want to experience like way more story, they did it justice, and it's actually like another 40 to 50 hours of content on a game that already has like 50 hours of content. So you should try that one.
I don't know if I can ever get to it. I have so many so many games that I haven't played, like just stacks and stacks of games. I keep buying games and not playing them. It's like a sickness.
The death of the backlog.
Yeah.
It is a curse. You know, that's actually what I'm going to speak into existence. I will, once a week, I will do a poll, and I will let you decide which game from my backlog will come up. We'll go by console, and then I'll narrow it down. And if it's good, awesome. If not, well, hey, I tried.
Yeah, why'd I buy that game?
I feel so bad because some of them, they have so much potential, and that, like, it looks cool, trailer looks cool, and then it's like, oh, this is the reason you're sitting on my shelf.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoy Pokemon. I picked up the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Like, I always enjoy a Pokemon game. It's
I've honestly never played a Pokemon game.
like, even back in the day, like Blue, Gold. Oh, wow.
Never. So I was in high school when all that stuff started coming out, and it was more of a kids thing. I was, doing high school boy stuff.
We're
Masturbating.
well, I mean, you got to. Reasons. That's what tube socks are for.
Yep.
Now we know what PT socks are really for. So, yeah, play that game. There's tons of ways that you can. And honestly, like when I found out Tony like really enjoyed it, like I deep dove hard with him. I was like, oh, like this and this. Like I've got to talk so many wonderful older JRPGs, and I think that's the trend that Square is going to start doing in some of the older companies, because we just got the Chrono Cross Radical Dreamers edition, Dragon Quest or Warrior 3, depending on your time frame. That's getting the Octopath HD 2D remaster. So I think I think nostalgia has hit full peak, that we're just going to see, hey, here's my library, dump.
I would have liked to have seen the Final Fantasy VII remake like actually be like just an upgrade to the graphics, not essentially a new game.
Yeah, that one. So I still love the new game.
Oh, I enjoyed it too. I played it in like I really thought like how they expanded Midgard was fantastic, but I wish it stuck more to
absolutely
the original game.
The whole dress scene with Cloud in the new game, I was just like, oh man, why did you do this?
At least it was still in there.
Yeah, or Jessie. Like, she became the annoying sidekick, and, well, we all know what happens to Jessie.
But yeah, like introducing Sephiroth so much earlier in the game and instantly making him like seem almost like the boss that he becomes so early. It's like that. Clearly, you made this game for folks who've already played it, and you're just spoiling your own story.
Yeah. How many parts do you think they're going to do? Are they going to milk this for everything? Or are going to get like 10 parts? Or do you think they'll be like, here's part 1, part 2, part 3? I
don't know. Like it's hard to say. At first, I thought they were going to do part 1 was going to be like disc 1, and part 2 would be disc 2, and so on, which would be interesting because it's kind of following the original and how it was set up. But I don't know. You can never tell with companies and how they like manipulating our nostalgia to get more money.
Yep. Thanks, Square Enix. We hate it. Actually, no, the worst company right now is NIS America. So NIS, I don't know if you've had a chance to play them. They released these NIS classics, and they've done Volume 1, Volume 2, 3. Volume 1 was Phantom Brave, the Nintendo Wii version, and Soul Eater and the Nomads, the PS2 game.
Okay.
I don't know the games on Volume 2, and then it's like Makai Kingdom and another one, and then Volume 3 is La Pucelle Ragnarok, and then that old PS1 game, Rhapsody, they're bringing that back.
Okay.
NIS has become the ultimate nostalgia. Let me take your money.
Well, like, I'm not 100% against it, but I'm also not 100% for it. Some things I think are, like, they're special because they don't last forever.
I mean, those PS1 games, let's be real, they were on CD technology, so disc rot, anything before DVD, like those PS1 games are set to, unless it's like sealed and you have like a dehumidifier with an air purifier going 24/7 with no sunlight, your game is bound to rot out within the next 10 to 15 years. It's like the nature of time.
Yep.
Get it while you can and then emulate.
Yep. Life is nothing more than a slow march to the grave.
Oof.
Which is why we play video games in the meantime.
I know, we escape from reality. Now we just need a virtual reality JRPG. I would be all for that. Play it with like the Oculus Quest and just like deep dive in.
Yeah, but like digging through menus in submenus to program your attacks would be so boring like that.
Okay, that is true. Come on. You're taking me away from the experience. Oh, no, not cancel.
Oh, crap. I dropped my item button around here somewhere. Where is it?
Oh, man.
I can't use a healing potion until I find it. Oh, God.
I'm dead. No. So, yeah. So, I mean, we spouted quite a few games. Definitely try them all. Final Fantasy VI, that's the one I'll say.
Absolutely play it. Such a good game.
If you haven't played it yet, it's honestly the pinnacle of storytelling for the Super Nintendo. For its console generation, I can't think of another game story-wise. I mean, and we have quite a few. I mean, you have Earthbound, the Illusion of Gaia series, Terranigma. Like, there's so many RPGs and non-RPGs. Like, even like the Mario games, some of them started to develop story with Super Mario World 2 when he was a baby. Nothing holds a candle to the story that 6 gave us. If you are not a fan, play it just for the story.
Story of triumph and loss and failure, but not giving up.
And honestly, like one of the top 5 villains of all time across all video games.
Yeah, Kefka is fantastic.
I loved, did you ever do Dissidia, like the combat game for Final Fantasy?
No.
The new one, like...
That's the one with like Ariana Grande as a character, right?
Essentially.
Yeah, you can get her in a stupid bunny suit or something.
Oh, no, that's a Brave Exvius, the mobile game. No, so Dissidia, it's a combat game. It was like the PSP one back in the day where you can fight the Final Fantasy characters, and they redo Kefka, and they make him a little more insane and crazy in this, and they actually did such a good representation.
Did they have Aerith or Eris in there?
She was in there.
And she always dies like halfway through.
She did not die in this one, actually. Like, they didn't really let anyone die, which is unfortunate because, like, Final Fantasy could go mature. I mean, hell, they went Final Fantasy Type 0, which if you haven't played that game, it was a PSP only in Japan. They re-released it right at the same time 15 was coming out. And literally the opening scene is just this chaotic war. Like, you see Bahamut dying. You see a chocobo dying. Like, you get a whole like CG scene, and you can it's like the opening trailer, so no spoilers for the actual gameplay, but like you see this knight like holding his chocobo who like gasps its last breath and blood is everywhere. They went full mature, and I was like, this is awesome, give us more. So
you have to imagine that there's a thriving like chocobo burger economy going on in the Final Fantasy world.
Yeah, there'd have to be. And the fat chocobo would be like the Wagyu beef of it.
Yeah.
The El Primo. So,
or would they treat them more like horses? Like only some countries eat them and everyone else is like, oh, you shouldn't eat your chocobos. We ride them and keep them as pets. We don't keep them as food.
Would it be, instead of PETA, would it be like FITA? Final Fantasy?
No, it'd just be the Final Fantasy version of France would... just eat chocobos and everyone else would think it's a bad idea.
Oh, fine dining. Oh, this chocobo is so delicate.
That didn't sound like a French accent.
No, that did not. I abandoned it midway. So, yeah, we could honestly talk this whole episode. We actually had another, this one's actually a pretty powerful topic, so don't touch that dial. When we come back, we're going to talk about kind of a more serious thing we as gamers face. So, yeah, this one's serious, so we'll be right back. Don't touch that dial and all that fun jazz. And remember, Super Metroid 3. diving back in, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the musical interlude. Since it was, Final Fantasy VI, I hope you enjoyed some pretty cool music from the Final Fantasy VI. And so I'm just going to preface this. Like, we joke a lot. We go back and forth. Like, we've done everything from dick jokes to me singing Sonic Heroes to giving John a copy of Sonic Heroes and him just, like, stumbling over everything because he's like, I can't believe this is in my hands, but why is this joke not dying? And something that's kind of a serious topic that Tony's been a gamer longer than I have. He's been around more than I have, and
A couple more trips around the sun.
Exactly, us old men. And something that still happens in today, it's honestly, so we wanted to shift it as well over from obviously the happy Final Fantasy to this, because it actually started way back then on the original console wars, and even a little bit before that on the regular Nintendo, and it's gatekeeping. Be it gatekeeping people out of video games nowadays with, you can't beat Dark Souls on super extreme hard mode, get good, you suck. Or back then it was, I want girls to play games. Girl goes and plays games. Oh God, this is fucking stupid. Don't play games.
Yeah, you get back in the kitchen and make me a sandwich. Like, didn't you want a girl to play video games with you and now you're chasing her away? What's wrong with you? Stop it. Gatekeeping's terrible.
It's honestly the worst, and I think it's definitely something that needs to be talked about and approached, because the more, like, you look at nowadays, esports is a thing. I mean, you can go to college to play League of Legends, for crying out loud.
That right there is I'm going to show my age even more so now. Like, I have a hard time truly comprehending what you just said. Like I said, I was there for the original Nintendo Sega console wars, and yeah, college for esports is just mind-boggling. But just because I don't get it doesn't mean I feel you shouldn't do it. If you want to do it, do it. Enjoy the games, have fun. Like, they're there to, like I said earlier, entertain us on our slow yet unavoidable march to the grave. Have fun. Have fun with your friends. Let other people have fun.
You will inexorably die, but enjoy a video game on the way.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do to not die.
And yeah, that's fair.
So play games. Let other people play games. Some folks like Dark Souls on the super hard mode while they're blindfolded in a dark room hanging upside down. I don't have time for that, but by all means, get in there and enjoy it. Have fun. If I'm going to play some other game on easy because, like, I work all day and I'm tired, I just want to, like, have fun playing a game, then I'm going to do that.
It's kind of what we're running into right now at home. So Martha, she loves horror games, like really loves horror games. And we picked it up for PS5. It's called Absolov Fall of Gods. And like the opening scene, you like wake up on a table and you're like being surgically altered. Oh, you've played it?
No, I haven't. I was going to before we started recording, I was talking about the game Planescape Torment.
Oh, yeah, that you were.
That game opens with your character, the main character, waking up dead in a mortuary.
Oof.
And one of the first things you can do is you can have someone cut you open and start playing around in your guts. And you can find an item that you swallowed and hid for yourself.
Huh. That's definitely a way to open a treasure chest.
Yeah.
Just bleh. So,
but you actually do that more than once.
Oh,
it's such a good game. But horror games. Please continue.
So we started it on its normal difficulty, the Viking difficulty, and the game is very dark. You have to use your sight to see, and you will repeatedly die by some dude with a deer skull on his head over and over and over. And you can, keep trying to dodge him, but there's no combat in the game, so you can't fight this. It's literally, I have to run and hope you don't find me, but the game is so dark, I can't see where I'm going. Oh no, you caught me, I'm dead. Or you can switch it to the easy mode where you don't die and you can enjoy the story. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that at all. Enjoy the game.
And that's kind of the big disconnect right now, because you look at gaming today, you have there's League of Legends, Rocket League, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Warzone, blah blah blah, and gatekeeping. I think it's even worse than ever. I suck at shooters unless it's Quake 3 Arena for PC. That's the only one I'm good at. And if I were to go try and pick up Call of Duty and I go just play a random match,
oh yeah, I'm toast.
I'm dead, and I'm gonna get flamed by whoever's on my team. And like, unless I have the team chat muted, they're just gonna be like, "Fuck this guy, fuck him," blah 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 blah. And
I don't know, some people, the screaming profanity at people and being screamed at is part of the experience. So weird, but knock yourselves out.
I mean, if that's the case, let's go back to the old Xbox 360 Call of Duty chat. Remember those?
No, I want it to go back to the way it was back when I was a kid. You had to go to the arcade.
Ooh.
And you had to talk shit to the kid who was literally within arm's reach of you.
Oh, you think you're good at Street Fighter?
Yeah, smack. Yeah.
Oh, man. That'd be kind of cool. Like adult arcades coming back fully.
Fully. Yeah, there's a couple of arcade bars out there in the world, but they're not fully back.
Hey, with nostalgia, you never know. They might come back.
The problem is a lot of gamers don't go out to bars to game. They sit at home and game.
That is true. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to load up the plane. Is it Plane Chase or Planescape?
Planescape Torment. It's based off of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign setting.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Oh yeah, because Plane Chase. That's that's the world. That's the Magic the Gathering set. I'm a derp. I also played Magic for like 20 years.
Like I said, I played Magic for a while. It was more expensive than I could. Like I had to spend so much money to keep up with it, whereas I could just buy a video game, and that would last me for a good long while. So Magic's too expensive for me.
Pick your poison. It's even worse nowadays. Nowadays, so you remember how it was? Like a set would come out. Cool, I get the set. Then the next expansion in that block for story comes out. Now here's a set, but you can get regular boosters or set boosters or themed boosters or collector's boosters.
Yeah. And like it seems like the sets come out more often now.
Oh, they are raping and pillaging in profits. It is gross and disgusting. But silver lining for D&D fans, I mean, all that extra profit, lets everything D&D kind of stay there without having to worry. So, silver lining. Thanks, Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah. It broke my heart a little bit when Wizards of the Coast acquired TSR.
Why is that?
Well, because they went from D&D 2nd edition to 3rd edition, which wasn't very good. And then they came out with 3.5, which is kind of good. But then they came out with another edition that's so bad that no one even speaks of it.
Oh, 5th edition?
No. After 3.5, but before 5th edition.
Was that the weird,
yeah, it's so bad no one speaks of it.
4th edition?
Yeah, it's so bad that no one speaks of it. But now that 5th edition, and then 5th edition now is... It's not the same. I mean, it's still fun. I still play it, but it's not the same. Every character is magical, and it's so easy to not die.
Yeah, I mean, I miss D&D. I need to dive into a campaign again one of these days. I'm so devoted to creating content for you guys and my personal video game collections and my wife. Can't forget my wife. Shout out Martha. That I feel like tabletop games or board games have been kind of left behind. So I need a board game day.
Board games are fun. Tabletop role playing is fun. Video games are fun, and there's no reason to keep people out of those things. Let them play, have fun. Sometimes you're going to meet someone that you don't particularly like playing Magic with. Don't play Magic with that person, but don't stop that person from playing Magic.
Yep. I mean, hey, look at you reeling us back in. See, you're a natural. Welcome to. We're gonna have to change the logo. It's gonna be John, James, and Tony, and we'll have a 2 thumbs up, and it'll be like an Italian pizza guy. You'll be like Fiat. Fix it again, Tony.
Okay.
But in all honesty, don't exclude others just because you don't feel they're good. You feel like they're going to bring you down. Competitiveness is cool. I get it. It's going to happen in anything we do, from Magic the Gathering, D&D, board games. I mean, just every walk of life, playing casual sports with friends, to video games and more. The more you gatekeep and hold people off, the worse of an environment you create, because toxicity breeds toxicity.
Yep. And you miss out on some great things.
Like League of Legends chats. I remember when I was playing Heroes of New Earth, because I'd just given up WoW. I switched to Heroes of New Earth and played that one. It was pretty fun. Creeped and I is cool. The champions were fun to play, and interacting with the environment in a MOBA is always entertaining. And then I switched to League of Legends when it was out in the beta back in 2011, and it was great. And I think it was almost 4 months ago. I was like, I'm going to see if I can go play an ARAM because I got the League of Legends itch. It was the most cancerous and toxic chat I have ever seen. And I've been around military people.
Worse than Call of Duty chat?
I would much rather go to 360 Call of Duty where every little 10-year-old white kid is dropping N-bombs than ever be in this League of Legends chat. It was
that's saying a lot
cancerous.
because preteen kids could be pretty vicious.
Oh man, was it the Ugandan, like the Ugandan general? Oh, hello. So James, you want to be disrespectful? You live at blah 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 way. No, I don't. Yes, you are. And then your mother's name is this, and your father's name is this. You remember those clips when the guys were like just freaking the kids out?
No.
I'll have to show you that video after this. It's terrifying, funny, and honestly what gatekeepers should suffer with. So yeah, this is it's a little bit shorter than what we talked about with the Final Fantasy, but it's one of those things we want to reemphasize because every year gaming exists and grows. It's growing by the millions. Back when Tony started gaming and when I started gaming, it was kind of a commodity. It wasn't a norm of society.
No, it was absolutely something only the unpopular kids involved themselves in. The cool
100%.
Kids are out there doing cool stuff. It was the not popular, lonely kids that were playing video games.
100%. And nowadays, where I work at, every single person I work with that I've talked to about video games, about the podcast, all of them play games, be it sports games, be it RPGs, be it platformers, Sonic. It's come so far, and it's cool that it's accepted, but now move past those biases because it doesn't matter if somebody sucks and you lose a team match or a death match or whatever. They're trying.
Yeah, it's just a game.
At the end of the day, cool. You turn it off. You move
on.
on.
You lost. Restart and keep going.
Yeah, unless you're like making money and only competing with like the super experience, don't expect everyone to be super great at Elden Ring and play it on max difficulty. Like, no, like people don't want to do that. Some people just want to play it on normal, which for Elden Ring is still balls ass hard, and experience it that way. Don't shit on others for your personal preference.
See, speaking of that, the gatekeeping, Elden Ring looks like it'd be a cool game, but I've never played it, and I'm probably never going to play it because the difficulty is so high, and I got other things to do with my time besides playing the same game over and over and over and over again, trying to get past the one rat that keeps killing me. But if you like that, knock yourself out. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. Like, my preferences are different than Tony's, who's different than John's, so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, I just want all of you and everyone I encounter to enjoy gaming culture, because so many cool things have come from it. So many cool games have been introduced from movies, like Knights of the Old Republic from the Star Wars universe. Amazing game. Super Mario Brothers, the movie. Not a good movie. Great, funny watch.
So that was supposed to be the first part of a 2-movie package.
I'm happy we did not get a second movie.
I don't know. A second movie might have been cool. A bunch of Goombas, a bunch of weird small-headed dinosaur monsters running around New York City with Princess Daisy and Luigi just gunning them down.
I still remember the scene where the dude's head shrinks and it just goes from full size to little size. Oh,
my favorite scene is when they're in the elevator and the music's playing, so they just start rocking the guys back and forth to distract them. So all the Goombas are just sitting there silently dancing to elevator music, and it allows them to escape. That's
classic movies.
Yeah, classic bad movie. Double Dragon is also another bad video game movie.
Yes, 100%. That's and the Street Fighter movie.
Which one?
The very first one. I forget
with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, and I forget the actor who played M. Bison
Raul Julia.
Yep, and he was also Gomez Adams.
Yes. That I actually like the original Street Fighter movie.
Ooh.
Because Raul Julia, and I forget the woman who plays Chun-Li, but she does a lot of movies and TV work now.
Mm-hmm.
She's the other assassin in the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
The female assassin that gets shot in the gut and then comes back with a robot body part.
With a robot belly?
Yeah, she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ming Hua something. I forget her name.
Oh, okay. I know who you're talking
Either
about.
way,
Yeah.
she's pretty decent actress and knows martial arts, so she can do a lot of her own stunts and stuff. So that's kind of cool. So I like seeing that kind of thing, and like people just being goofy and having fun making a stupid movie. And Raul Julia almost all but literally chewing on the scenery in all his scenes. Like he's so over the top. It's so fun.
It was great. And that was his last movie before he sadly
That's
passed
correct.
away.
And he only did that movie because I think his grandson like heard about it and was like, "Grandpa, you gotta do this movie. Street Fighter's so cool." And he's like, "What? All right, for whatever. I was gonna pass, but sure, I'll do this movie for you."
So
It's right up there with Martin Sheen doing the Spawn movie because his grandson asked him to do it. Like it's not a very good movie, but it's fun watching Martin Sheen like overact his way through it.
Man, I forgot Martin Sheen was in Spawn. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that. And then the Spawn animated series. That one wasn't bad.
The Spawn animated series was pretty good.
So
It had its problems, but it was pretty good.
yeah. I mean, I think every show has problems to a degree, but like that one was awesome. I miss it. We're tangenting hard, but hey, you're here for a good time, not a long time. Because remember, death is coming.
Yep, slow, inexorable march to the grave. So play some video games, read some comic books. Don't gatekeep. For the love of crackers. Like, find something you enjoy. Find other people who enjoy it with them. No need to gatekeep.
Well, you said for the love of crackers, Ritz or Cheez-Its?
Either.
That's
Both.
fair.
Have fun. Saltines. Sometimes I like saltines.
Ah.
Sometimes I like saltines in a soup. I like Ritz crackers if I'm gonna put a slice of meat or a slice of cheese on them. So different crackers for different situations. Like don't
like gatekeeping.
Yeah, like enjoy. Just I'm not gonna slap the saltines out of your mouth because I don't like you eating saltines. Like have your saltines.
Oh man, last random movie. You remember the old Transformers movie with Orson Welles as Unicron?
I have that movie on the DVD. It's fantastic.
I love that movie.
That movie
so much.
And the G.I. Joe movie.
Which one?
The original G.I. Joe movie.
So the
one that came out the same summer as the Transformers movie.
So the one like in 87, 88?
Yeah, the one where originally Duke was supposed to die, but then so many parents freaked out because their kids had breakdowns after watching Optimus Prime die that they went back and added a throwaway line like, "Oh yeah, Duke lived," and then the movie ends just so they could keep him alive. That one.
Oh man, that's
the one of Burgess Meredith.
Ooh, that's a bit of trivia right there for you. That's the stumper.
Yeah, he was Globulus.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's plot. I mean, if they got Orson Welles to be Unicron.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime dying, primo.
Yeah. Like the quality of the animation in those movies is fantastic. It's really good. Like my favorite scene in the G.I. Joe movie is when Beachhead takes the dynamite away from the dog and throws it away. Like it's so like the movement, the action is so smooth. It's so high quality.
We don't get that much anymore nowadays. Like I miss old animated movies like that. I mean, hell,
it's all CG animation now.
I mean, it's an adult animated movie. Remember Heavy Metal?
Yeah,
like that was well animated, weird and twisted.
So that movie was produced by one of the dudes that created the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
I think it was Kevin Eastman.
Mad respect.
Yeah.
And then thanks South Park for making us relive Heavy Metal.
Well, yeah, with was it
Cat P?
Major boobage.
Yep.
Yeah, I see. That's another thing. Yeah, traditional animation. That movie never set out to be like a high quality, award winning artsy movie. It set out to be fun, and was fun. So just enjoy it. Don't gatekeep heavy metal from people because you like to sniff your own farts watching art house movies.
Oh,
and I'm not trying to gatekeep that either. Like, if you like that kind of movie, watch it, enjoy it, have fun.
So, honestly, like, thank you guys for the episode. You can always find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at Games with John and James. We're on all streaming platforms. Make sure you give us a listen wherever you want. This has been super fun, and it's been a really cool mini-series to have a solo adventure, do it with Brandon, and now with Tony. So thank you for being on the show, Tony.
Hey, no problem. I am not on any of those streaming services. Good luck finding me on Facebook.
You can go to our website.
Yeah, you can't find me is what I'm saying. If you like Games with John and James, and for some reason you want to know who I am, no,
You will not find me. I'm gone.
Good luck. But if someone could find a screenshot of me with my shitty mustache and send it to you, I would be very impressed.
Would you play a game with them if they did?
Sure, absolutely. I'll let them pick the game too.
Well, he spoke it into existence, which is our habit here. So with that, I'm James.
I'm Tony.
And this is Games with James and Tony. I like it. John, you've been replaced, at least for this week.
I think the John and James thing has a much better sound to it.
For this week, John. So John will be back for next week, and he'll fill you in on some pretty cool stuff. This has been super awesome. I don't really get to talk old 80s movies a lot because not a lot of people enjoyed most of them. And whenever I talk about like Orson Welles being Unicron, they're like, wasn't he a writer? Why would he do voice acting? And
he was an actor too.
I'm just like, oh man.
He starred in Citizen Kane.
Charles Foster Kane. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you again, Tony.
No problem.
And with that, we will see you next week. For some more exciting adventures. We'll welcome John back. I will be sure to troll him heavily for all of you. And with that, see you.
Bye.